Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the special Monday night edition of The Zoo. We're all going to be here. This is going to be nasty. It's nasty because of what's happening in the world, because we're learning who our true enemies are and who those are who think they are your masters. This is going to be ugly, so if you don't have a strong stomach and you don't want to talk about it, this isn't the place for you. But if you've got a prepared mind, we're going to get into this and get into it big time. So hang on, buckle up, and let's get it started.
Consider this your trigger warning. The following program is strictly satire and is not meant to be taken seriously. So don't get all butthurt, you liberal snowflakes, just because we skewer your sacred cows and expose all your lies and hypocrisy. Truth hurts, and so does satire. So grab a drink, pull up a chair, and enjoy the show.
Okay, everyone. John here with the Monday night edition of The Zoo. And we're live with everyone. We got YouTube. We have the preparedmind.club. We have X. We're on the Man X channel. We're also on subscribestar.com. And subscribestar.com and the preparedmind.club are our two, shall we say, guerrilla funding sites. And I'll tell you what, folks, we have a guerrilla war on our hands. This is going to be down and dirty in the trenches because, well, unlike other wars in the past, our government is not on our side. I'm talking about your local government, your state government. I'm talking about your local district attorney, your state attorney general. They're not on your side. Your governor's not on your side. Congress is not on our side, nor is the Senate. And the President of the United States, he's either compromised or he's being extorted and blackmailed. Either way, he's not fighting for us. Somehow, some way, we got the Epstein files, or at least a portion of them, released with a portion of them not redacted, meaning they aren't completely blacked out, hidden from us. And it is revealing a whole lot of ugly in this world. You see, you were told if you say anything against Israel, you're an anti-Semite. You are a Nazi. You are like Hitler. You're a white supremacist. You're an evil person if you don't agree with everything that's demanded of you by the mainstream media, by Washington, D.C., by the Democrats especially, by all the sellout Republicans, by the Israelis, by Mossad, by the CIA, by the mainstream media, by Hollywood, by the news, everyone. They're all against you and I. And we're going to dig into some really, really ugly stuff. So, right out the gate, though, let's do this. Let us find out what's going on. We've got Darcy T starting off with a $50 PayPal Super Chat donation. Thank you, Darcy T. And there's going to be no alcohol tonight because I'm still recovering from my surgery. And the doctor said, John, lighten up on the alcohol till you're fully recovered. I'm not fully recovered, but I'm ready to fight. Oh, am I ready to fight? I got to tell you. Chelsea, you're out there. You've done a super chat of significant size. I would like you to get your questions into Man. And, of course, Chin Music has another big $50 plus super chat out there. And I've got some comments by him, but he may chime in with some more. So Darcy checked in. And I want to say thank you to Darcy. And she says, hope everything went well with your surgery. And it did. 100% successful surgery. Just going through the recovery phase now. Get sliced open in 3 different places to fix you. They're going to find some fun. Anyway, she says, praying for you and the family. And I appreciate that tremendously. She says, my question is around the released Epstein files. It reeks of a distraction to keep us occupied while they continue to erode our rights and freedoms. Well, I tell you what, you're right on both counts. It is a distraction, but it is also the foundation, and we need to understand where we are at with these Epstein files and what they really mean, who it encompasses, who's involved. Now, first, let's just talk about they're going to keep us distracted while they erode our rights and freedoms. Understand this, folks. They gave up 3 million pages of Epstein documents. You think they gave us the really nasty, nasty bad ones? They gave us what they think is going to satisfy us, so we shut up, we go back to sleep, and we go away. Yes, they just signed some legislation. They're trying to pass another $6.5 billion to give to Israel while you are distracted with whatever you're distracted with. They want to give 50 Apache helicopters to Israel. Who is Israel fighting right now? Women, children, Syrians, Lebanese, Americans, Christians, people in the Holy Land that they don't like. That's really, Israel needs 50 Apaches. They are distracting us and keeping us occupied. They're stealing our money still. They're eroding our rights and freedoms. Oh, you bet. The Anti-Defamation League is out there, and they want you to shut the fuck up. They don't care. It's beyond reeking as a distraction, because it is like holding up a picture of them and showing us who they are and saying, okay, see, it's all done. We can just forget about that. I'm sorry. It's not going to be that easy to forget about these people and what they're doing. Before I go over to Chin Music, I want to talk about Epstein's emails. There are back and forth Epstein emails between him and his fellow Zionist Talmudic Jews. And they confirm in their own emails, these are emails that have been released, that Jews, Israelis are at war with the Goyim. Their words, not mine. They are calling you, me, everyone Goyim. We're Goyim cattle. This is all out in the open naked. This is no longer John says, or this person says, or that person says, or I heard it over here. It is coming from their mouths, and it's been released publicly. And of course, the mainstream media is not going to talk about this because they're owned by Israelis. All of our media is owned by Israelis. Dual citizenship Israelis. All of Hollywood is owned by dual citizenship Israelis and their puppets. If something isn't owned by them, it's controlled by them. Even Steve Bannon was told, well, buddy, welcome to the club. You're honorary Jew now. And he says, so I can drop the Judeo-Christian and just go with Judeo? What the fuck, Steve? Really? That's where we're at now, huh? What a time to be alive, folks. Finding out all of these other people are just selling out to these anti-white, anti-black, anti-Hispanic, anti-brown, anti-indigenous. They're anti-everybody. A Goyim is anyone who is not Jewish. And they're at war with us all. Their words, not mine. And here's a nice little example, right? This is from Epstein to another Israeli, Michael Wolff, who is he's just another elite scumbag whose name, look, this email was to Michael Wolff and another Jew whose name was redacted by the FBI, Attorney General, and Department of Justice. I mean, seriously, do you know who your masters really are? Your masters are people you cannot criticize. That's when they think and act like they're your master and they own you and they'll silence you. Do you get it yet? Do you understand why Islam is invading white Europe and white America? Do you understand that? Do you understand who is making it happen and why? This came up in the 1800s, folks. It's called the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion. It was called a hoax, It was called a forgery. I'm sorry, it was not a forgery. It was not a hoax. It was literally what their plan was, right? The Protocols of Sion were a captured document of the Talmudic Jewish people at the time who were planning to destroy all of Western culture using any and all means to do so, from communism to Islam to racism and slavery. Evil, folks, is not just a made-up movie concept for purposes of entertainment. Evil is real. Evil exists, and it rapes children. It sacrifices children, and it literally drinks the blood of children to gain satanic power to destroy all of us, our civilized traditions, our secular accomplishments. That's why wars are fought for the last 200 years. It is to be a blood sacrifice of Christians to these evil Zionist gods, Baal and Moloch, the gods of Zionism and the Talmud, the synagogue of Satan. This is now out there in the open. Mainstream media won't touch it. How many more documents do you think there are that they didn't release? Why was so many names redacted? Why were they blacked out? Well, would they be embarrassed? I'll tell you what, right now in England, politicians, people who have been knighted by royalty are resigning their positions of power because they're so embarrassed, so shamed by their association with Satanism that they're resigning. Not in America. Hell, the Justice Department came out and said, look, sorry, we're not going to prosecute anyone. We're not going to investigate anyone. We're not going to arrest anyone. We're not putting anyone in jail, even though they talk about kidnapping, rape, murder, cannibalism, drinking blood, terrorism of children, even though they're talking about how they hate America, they hate Europe, they hate everyone who is Goyim. The gloves are off, folks. The gloves are off. They are using the black to fight the white. They are using Hispanics to fight the black. They're using all of us to fight each other. They're importing Islam into Europe and America and Canada and Australia. Are you fucking surprised yet? Do you see it now? What better than for a bunch of really sneaky bastards using guilt from the Holocaust of World War II? It's like another Holocaust. Oh, it's terrible. It's a Holocaust. And so they're using the Holocaust guilt. No one can deny it. No, you can't deny it. Right? I know the fucking accent. They're using the Holocaust guilt of everyone else to allow them, these Zionist pieces of shit, to pump people who are retarded into these countries, Australia, Canada, America, and all of Europe. Because what? Islam is the fool of God. And they have a belief they're superior. And their religion tells them to kill all of us. Oh, yeah, they hate the Jews too. But if you put them in our countries, where Jews are less than 1% of the population, oh, they're a tiny percentage, yet they control media, news, entertainment, music, technology. They control governments at the federal, state, local levels. So yeah, the odds of them getting hurt is nil compared to all of us. If you are not Muslim, they will kill you. So that's why they're bringing Muslims into our countries. What are they doing in Europe? What are they doing in America? What are they doing in Canada? They're killing, raping, murdering, stealing, everything. They are using each one of us, Goyim, all of our Goyim groups, to attack and hate each other, while they hide behind the Holocaust, and we can't allow it to ever happen ever again. Sorry, right? This is unacceptable, right? The synagogue of Satan has revealed itself. It's finally come out. I guess that's pretty nasty, isn't it? Well, that's what I read, and that's what we all get to see now. And the government has a lot more to reveal if we can force them to give us the papers Folks, there's a lot more papers. There's videos. There's pictures. There's outright admissions, communications between these people, Mossad, the CIA, governments of Europe, governments of America, governments all around the world, communicating, cooperating, and playing this game, taking the money and screwing us all over. Now, as stated in an old book I read, come out of her, my people, come out of Mystery Babylon, the whore who's drunk on the blood of saints. Folks, we don't have to live as slaves to evil. We need to make justice happen. So raise your voice. And oh yeah, we all need to be fully prepared, because there will be an SHTF on steroids like we can't imagine if they use another false flag to get themselves out of trouble. We are in big fucking trouble right now. And everyone is now getting a wake up, a crash course lesson on what is happening. What is happening? Unbelievable. Now, Chin Music has done a super chat donation of $52.23. Thank you, sir. And he has this to say. Well, he's got a lot more to say than just this, but we're going to start with this. Got attacked again online for saying I'm anti-Zionist by the Israeli toe suckers on our side of the aisle. Now, stopping right there. What he means by that is every American who feels guilty because of the Holocaust, right? They think that they have to suck up, that Judeo-Christianism is something that's real. It's not. Judeo-Christian is a manufactured term to make Christians believe they owe Israelis loyalty and that we need to worship them. They actually think they're gods. They think they're superior to you. They think you're inferior, that you're just a fucking animal, that you're stupid and you're their slaves and sex toys, and you're their food and their sacrifice. Remember this. Remember, folks, the Israelis sacrifice animals, blood sacrifice to their God. So if we are goyim cattle, if we are goyim animals to them, isn't sacrificing us and spilling our blood also a sacrifice? Oh, it is. They have no problem spilling our blood. Anyways, the people on our side, meaning, well, if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, anyone who just sucks up to Israel, you are Israeli toe suckers. So back to Chin Music. He says, but after I went through the Brandon Herrera, Tony the Rhino Gonzalez, the primary story involving AIPAC, which is the Israel America political group that funds all of Israel's wants, desires, and needs. Chin Music says, not one of them refuted my argument, and a couple even conceded it. Let me tell you that again. After Chin Music explained to these scumbag Israeli dick suckers, right? They don't know it, but they've been fooled into serving them. Well, he explained it to them, and not one of them had a response, could refute, could argue against his argument. And a couple even said, yeah, you're right. But regardless, they still called Chin Music an anti-Semite, because that's what they're trained to do. That's what they're trained to do. They're trained to just call you a name, and that's it. That's supposed to end the. That's not an argument. That is not evidence. That's not proof. That's not intelligent thought. That's called ad hominem. It's destruction of someone's good name by just calling him a name instead of saying, well, here's the evidence, here's the facts, let's argue it, let's discuss it. Chin Music says these flakes, meaning these right-wing Israeli ass-kissers, these flakes are almost as bad as the left. And I agree. If they cannot see that they are being led to slaughter at this point, they're lost. Chin Music completes this paragraph by saying, if they thought boys should use the girls' room, they would be. In other words, they'll believe whatever they're told because of the Holocaust. It's so bad, the Holocaust. Right? It's like another Holocaust if we don't give them what they want. Sorry, I'm done giving, because they've shown us all they do is take. They are here to hurt and destroy us. They admit it in their own words. Now, not all Jews. No. Zionist Talmudic Jews are evil. Period. There's no light evil. No. There's, I mean, listen to Dr. Evil from the funny movie, right? Not evil enough, right? There is no light evil. There's good and there's bad. That's it. You either do good or you are helping bad. So yeah, Chin Music got attacked, but he stood his ground because he's got information. We all have it now. Go on X, go on Twitter, and your feed will be full of people citing different pieces of paper that have been pulled out of these Epstein documents. But the government doesn't want to prosecute. We're going to face a false flag of epic proportions, if not just an outright attack for exposing them as the evil people they are. It's done, folks. After 30 fucking years, I can finally openly talk about what I knew back in the 90s when the internet first came out. I'm going to say a name and you're going to tell me how you feel. Don't tell me anything. Don't tell me anything. Just think about how you feel when I say the name and what your internal quick reaction is, good or bad, right? If I say Winston Churchill, you probably feel pretty good about Winston Churchill. Yeah, he led the English in World War II. He was a good guy. How about General Patton? Everyone, good. How about Henry Ford? Yay, Henry Ford, right? Sure, everyone, you kind of feel good about those, right? Guess what? They did not appreciate, value, or like what the Jews represented. So if I said Adolf Hitler, you probably feel very nasty about that, right? Well, how about a more recent name? David Duke. Oh, that's the KKK, man. He's bad. No, he was trying to expose Talmudic Zionist Judaism. He's not a fucking Nazi, right? But he's had his name destroyed, and to associate with it or say he's a good guy, whoa, no. But he was trying to wake people up. And now people, it's no longer, you don't have to rely on David Duke or Adolf Hitler to explain anything. And nobody really believes that Patton or Churchill or Ford said anything bad about the Jews, even though they did, and it was very, very unflattering. Most people, and I've been educating people as of late, the last few weeks, as they write in, call in, get a hold of me, and they say, wait a minute, what do you mean the book burnings wasn't the Nazis burning, literature and poetry? No, they were burning pornography. They were burning pedophilia. They were burning transgenderism. They were burning cross-dressing. They were burning everything that was the Jewish culture inside of Germany in the 1920s. They were getting rid of all of that trash that was destroying Germany, destroying their culture, destroying their just the entire German civilization, the European civilization. They were trying to replace it. They were selling children for sex in Germany in the 1920s because Germans were so poor after being stuck with the bill for World War I. It is an incredible story about what happened in Germany. It was not Adolf Hitler killing the Jews. It was Adolf Hitler getting rid of what they were doing to Germany. It was Adolf Hitler, sending them to war camps and prison camps and concentration camps as, workers. Conscripted labor. But they weren't killing them. Not intentionally. Everything we've been told we now need to back up and look at and examine through a lens of reality, not the lens of the story of the Holocaust. It's crazy, folks. It really is. Someone named Sam Parker, I have no idea who Sam Parker is, was on Twitter, said you might have noticed that very few Jews, if any, have spoken out about Epstein, no matter their political persuasion, meaning Republican or Democrat. These Zionists, folks, they don't care. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of old school regular Jews, not Zionists, who are very upset because now they're going to be labeled. Now they're going to be treated prejudicially because of what Epstein and all his people have finally revealed. So, yeah, no matter their political persuasion, it's because they, the Jews, are forbidden under Jewish law from informing on each other to Gentiles, goyim, when it might endanger a fellow Jew's physical person or property, even when he is a wicked person who commits sin. That's a quote. In fact, it's okay under their law to kill another Jew who breaks this law. That person is called a Mosir, right? Any Jew, folks, who's remaining quiet on Epstein is putting Jewish law above everyone else's rights, lives, property, and laws. Period. It's Jewish supremacy. Everything they accuse us of, they are guilty of doing. You're a white supremacist. No, you're a Jewish supremacist. All whites need to die is what they say. So this person, Sam Parker, who posted this, I want to give him credit. Right? He says, I have no, sorry. He says, any Jew who is remaining quiet on the Epstein is putting Jewish law above us Gentiles. This is Jewish supremacy. Know them by their silence. Just like the Muslims. Oh, they're moderate Muslims. Not all of them are terrorists. Well, where are the moderates out there talking and telling us the SHTF we're suffering under from Muslims is bad? They won't criticize each other because they believe they're supreme. They're superior to us. We have law and order, civilization, kindness, mercy, generosity. We have a fair court system. They don't. They're just, we're the best and we're supreme. We're Muslims and we're going to kill everyone and we don't care. We are Zionist Israelis and we'll kill everyone and we don't care. Look at what they're doing in Gaza. Bombing Lebanon, bombing Syria, bombing Christian sites, bulldozing people's homes, stealing people's homes, killing children, sacrificing them, assassinating them, women. It doesn't matter. They're saying they want to see them not just dead, but suffer and then die. Okay, I've got a picture. I took a screenshot. And this is awful, completely awful. It's chapter 8 of the, and forgive me because I'm going to mispronounce the hell out of this, from chabad.org. Chabad, whatever. It's the Chovel Umazik. It is forbidden to inform about a colleague to the Gentiles, the Goyim, and endanger his physical person or his property. This applies even when the person concerned is a wicked person who commits sins. In other words, a Zionist Jew can sin, commit absolute evil, and no other Jew can say anything about it because it could endanger that Jew. It is permissible to kill a Mosir in any country, even in the present age when the court no longer metes out capital punishment, meaning their rule, right? Their chabad, their people. It's okay to just kill people that disagree with them. Right? I have no sympathy, love, or compassion for anyone who uses race and religion to shield, protect, and allow pedophiles to run the world and commit horrifying crimes against children. What kind of religion does that? And you should hear the Muslims out there, folks. Oh, yeah, we would never do what the Israelis are doing. It's like, really? You guys marry girls under 10. Right? You, in your books, tell us it's okay to lie to us, to trick us, to deceive us, to tax us, to use Sharia law to steal our women, steal our daughters, enslave us, fucking murder us. Any religion from the Middle East is absolute garbage. Let me repeat the question. What kind of religion protects a child rapist, protects child murder, protects others that are committing acts of cannibalism as a sacrament, as a religious sacrament to their worship of their deity? Judeo-Christian, this has nothing to do with Christianity, what these people do, what the Epstein documents are showing. And the reason this matters for SHTF, the reason this is part of this show, is these people are incredibly powerful. They control Washington, D.C. They control the World Economic Forum. They control the European Union. Oh, yeah. Ursula von der Leyen, unelected leader of the European Union. She's been appointed by her colleagues. She said Europe has Talmudic values. The values of Europe are the Talmud. Well, the Talmud says, have sex with girls, underage, under 10. That's fine. Rape them. It's fine. Treat people like cattle, steal from them, fool them, lie from them. It's unbelievable. It has nothing to do with Christianity. There is no Judeo-Christianity, folks. And when they feel threatened enough, they are going to unleash hell on us. There is only old school Judaism, and then there's Talmudic Zionism, and those are the people in charge. And they are distinct, both of these, from Christianity, which explicitly protects children and never sacrifices children or the people for political and religious profit. But, Judaism does, folks. Zionism, rather, I should say. All right, Darcy T. Has let me know it's pronounced Chabad. Whoops. Yeah. It's not my language, not my culture, but when it's translated to English, I know exactly what they're talking about, and it's destroying and killing all of us and our culture. Why do you think America is under attack? Why do you think Europe is under attack? Why do you think Canada and Australia are under attack? Why do you think they're inviting in Indians, Pakistanis, Afghanis, everyone from the Middle East, North Africa? All of these Muslim countries are just shipping every last piece of shit they can into our country. Because diversity is our strength. That's the lie they tell us. And that's the lie the left wing openly pushes. And we're sitting here arguing with left wing retarded Democrats. We're literally arguing with left wing retarded Democrats about whether these people are our strength or not. It's not arguable. They've got no qualities, no values. They have less education than an 8th grade graduate. They don't have the moral background or understanding that you don't steal, you don't kill, you don't rape, you don't rob, you don't murder. That's not part of their culture. So they show up and those are the things they do because they can get away with it. And we're arguing with these left-wing retards about whether diversity is our strength or not. Diversity is our enemy. A homogeneous, meaning one, a homogeneous Christian Western culture based on law and order and civilized conduct is our strength. Diversity is divide and conquer. It's to take a group of people, America, and split us and keep splitting us and have us fight each other. It weakens us, it destroys us, and it allows evil to take control. And that's where we're at, folks. We are fighting evil. Thank you, Darcy T, for the correction on pronunciation. It's hard to get, but what we are now seeing is exactly what we need to see. Who the enemy is, who are the puppet masters, who has caused 9/11, who has caused political division instead of American exceptionalism. This country, our country, has always been about people coming here to get away from bad places because they're good people who want to work hard. Is that what we're seeing today? Our country was originally founded by the English, the Germans, the Scots and the Irish and the Swedes. The Dutch, if you wish. You bet. That's how America as colonies, the United States of America, was started. And then later on, we had more waves of immigrants from Italy, Ireland, Germany. You bet. And they came here and they were put to work and they earned their way and they made America a better place. Not diversity. We didn't get a little Italy and a little Germany. And no, yeah, we had our communities, of course. But the idea was to join America, think like America, be free like America, and live a productive and high-quality life. These people that are coming here today, do they have anything to do with any of what I just described? Coming to America, to become American, to accept American idealism, American law, American culture, American tradition, and to make America a better place. No, they come here to rob, rape, pillage, steal, and murder. And that's exactly what they're doing. And anyone who says different is a fucking liar. And they are a puppet and a fool. All right, folks, this is just like Sunday Night Live. If you've got something to say, we got a super chat button right up there. We're on YouTube. We're on subscribestar.com. We are on thepreparedmind.club. We are on Ooman at X, probably BitChute and Rumble and who knows where else. Who knows? What I do know is it's Monday Night Live. I want your opinions and thoughts. And I'm going to stay here as long as I can until I start falling apart. Still recovering from surgery, but I'm doing great. So thank you for all the prayers, the well wishes, and everything else. It has helped me get over this. Rough. I got to tell you. And I've got a lot to talk about. Oh man, sent you a. There we go. Okay, let's take one from the audience, shall we? Your pick, Mr. Ooman. Who has something to say? And it's Robin G with a $50 super chat of. And Robin, thank you sincerely. She says, have a shot of vitamin C. I tell you what, after the show, I will. In fact, this particular tumbler right here is full of vitamins, minerals, and salts to keep me hydrated. And Robin says, what's up with gold and silver dropping out of nowhere? Is it China trying to destroy the dollar? Is it Wall Street controlling the market? Is it the administration trying to keep the dollar strong, or is something else at play? This is very complicated. Myself, Ooman, and everyone else, from the most novice of novices and newbies, all the way up to the very top of precious metals and investing experts. Everyone is pleading their case, trying to explain, making an argument, saying that they're the ones that are right. In my opinion, it's a combination of many, many, many different things. So I'm going to start with, is it the administration trying to keep the dollar strong? That is true. It is not the main reason this is happening, but that is one of the key components. The dollar is weakening. The United States government isn't ready to give up world reserve currency status. They're not willing and wanting to admit that our dollar, the US dollar, is just the same as the euro or the yuan from China or the yen in Japan. They don't want to say the dollar is being destroyed, but it is. It's being destroyed not by China, not by Europe, not by Japan. The dollar is being destroyed by fiscal policy coming out of Congress and the White House, period. The dollar is being destroyed by the Federal Reserve, who is printing money and giving it to themselves and bankers to make money off of the rest of us by funding their Wall Street trading exercises to make sure that they can screw us as participants in retirement systems, 401ks, IRAs, even the Social Security. Everything you believe is your retirement is being looted right now by our own government, by the Federal Reserve Bank. But by doing that, they destroy the dollar. So while they rob us, yeah, you're robbing us all. And you're making the dollar worth shit. But they don't care as long as they steal as much as they can. And they steal more than they lose by destroying the dollar. Now, you ask, is China trying to destroy the dollar? This is a yes and no. Let me explain. China wants to see the dollar destroyed. China is getting revenge for what was done to China over 150 years ago in China by England, by England's banks, their central banks, because China was destroyed financially and economically and monetarily by European banking practices. China wants revenge. China is going to get revenge. Is China trying to destroy the dollar, Robin? They don't have to. The dollar is being destroyed by our own government, the Federal Reserve Bank, Wall Street financiers, bankers, and corporations. They're doing it all on their own. China doesn't have to try. the greed and corruption and filth. And yeah, folks, it's tied to European banking cartels. It's tied to Israel. It's tied to the World Economic Forum. It's tied to the U.S. government. All of them are working together to steal from us. They have stolen not just the $40 trillion we're in debt. There is over $100 trillion in unfunded liabilities, meaning the government owes us. They owe us retirement, Social Security. They owe people medical care. They owe people Social Security. They owe everyone who has paid in their whole lives. They owe policemen. They owe firefighters. They owe the military. They owe them their retirements. Every state government has sent money and it has been stolen. Over $100 trillion. It is destroying the dollar, and this country is bankrupt. Now, bankrupt doesn't mean insolvent. There's a difference. There's a distinction. Bankrupt means you can't pay your bills. You're done. You are so far in debt you can't get out of it. Insolvent means you don't have any cash. Our government, the United States government, along with and together with the Federal Reserve, can print up all the cash they want, all the dollars they want, meaning they have infinite liquidity. They have infinite solvency. But in order to do that, they have to put us more in debt, and it takes down the value of the dollar. As you say, it's destroying the dollar. But they're staying solvent, kind of like in the 1920s. The Weimar Republic, aka Germany, the Deutschmark was strong, but then it started failing. So they printed more and more and more. They didn't run out of Deutschmarks, folks. They didn't run out of the mark. They just printed it so much that it would cost you $1 million. I'm sorry, 1 million marks to buy a loaf of bread. You would literally have to fill a wheelbarrow up full of bricks of cash. Take them to the bakery to get a loaf of bread. The currency became worthless. The dollar is becoming worth less. Ultimately, it'll be absolutely worthless. Now, you ask the question, what is up with gold and silver dropping out of nowhere? There's a couple of things at play here. Some people are saying this is normal. Other people are saying this is out-fucking-rageous. Because it's not just gold and silver that dropped. Other commodities, other metals, other stocks absolutely got hammered on Friday, depending on what the bankers needed to do. Not want, but needed to do to protect themselves. So let's get into this just a little bit. So there's a billionaire in commodities. His name is Rick Rule. Very open, very honest about, being a billionaire and everything else. He says, hey, look. From 1975, 76 to 1980, silver went from $4 an ounce to $50 an ounce. It went up 1,200%, 1,250%. But along the way, it had not one, not two, but 3 episodes where it dropped 30% in value. Silver, and just silver. What does that mean? That means we suffered, I think, a 35% hit in silver. So is it natural? No. Is it normal? No. Does it happen at times when we're in a currency crisis? The dollar's in trouble. We've got massive inflation. The economy is fucked, and the government is screwing us. Yes. That's when silver skyrockets, when gold skyrockets. And when we get these massive corrections because bankers get involved, they need to protect themselves, and they screw people by playing with the fucking market. But what happens? Well, it goes along, it goes up, and then it drops 30%. And then it'll go up, and it'll drop 30%. It's going to do that several times on its way to all-time highs that the smartest and most expert of experts are saying it's going to blow everyone's mind. So that is what I know is going to happen. So I sit here and I go, holy crap. 30% of its dollar value disappeared in one fucking day, folks. Not a 30% drop over a week or a month like happened before. They did it all in one day. And that is the unprecedented part. That is the part that has scared everyone to death and said, what the fuck is going on? One fucking day, not 24 hours, one trading session. They destroyed the dollar value for silver. Don't worry, the Chinese don't give a fuck. In fact, they said, let's just buy more. India said, let's just buy more. Central banks around the world said, let's just buy more. Corporations said, let's just buy more. You want to give us a fucking discount? We'll take it. And they did. They screwed investors out of the dollar value of their silver. But that ounce right there is still 1 ounce. All the grams are there in that. Didn't lose any silver. It just lost dollar purchasing. Don't worry, it's coming back in gangbusters. It's going to be amazing. Now, with respect to gold, today gold is down $1,000 from its all-time high last Friday morning in the middle of the night. $1,000. Are you fucking kidding me? Right? That sounds much different than just dropping 30%. $1,000 all of a sudden, central banks don't want it. Sovereign nations don't want it. Regional banks don't want it. Corporations don't want it. Rich people don't want gold. All of a sudden, the market just fell out. No. What's up with gold and silver dropping out of nowhere, you ask? It has been revealed, and it also has every fucking thing to do with the Epstein documents. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what child kidnapping and trafficking and raping and murdering and cannibalism has everything to do with gold and silver and what's happened in the market? Yes. It's the same people. It's the same fucking people. They talk about in the Epstein documents how we are just here to allow them to screw us and steal money for us. That they're naked shorting. Shorting the market is a tool used by the super rich to artificially slam the price by selling something they don't have in such quantities that no one can buy it up fast enough, and it causes the price to drop. And everybody along the way gets kicked out of their position. They lose money, they lose value, and it gets to the bottom. And then the bankers who devise this system buy it at a discount. And then they run it up again. And then they short the shit out of it and drop it again. And then they run it up again. And people that put their money back in. And then they lose their fucking money again and again and again and again and again and again. In silver and gold, they've done this on a daily fucking basis. 0.5%, 1%, 0.5%, 1%, 0.5%, 1%. Every fucking day they do this to people. And the banks enrich themselves at your expense. Not your expense of how many ounces you have, but if you are allowing an investment firm to invest your money, say a managed IRA or a passively managed IRA, a hedge fund, they get soaked every single day. And do you think that Charles Schwab or TD or Morgan Stanley or anyone gives a fuck about your individual retirement? No. All they care about is making their money and them staying solvent. It's all about them. And in the Epstein documents, many of them, they talk about just that. How their superior race, the Jews, the Israeli Zionist Jews who are not white, they hate us and they are going to screw us over. And I finally get to fucking say it because they're saying it. They've been caught. What's being done? How many arrests? None. None. No fucking arrests. You would think the CFTC, the SEC, the FCC, every bureaucracy in Washington would be ringing the alarm bell and sending out everyone with a badge and a gun to arrest everyone on Wall Street for screwing us over. But they're not. Nobody. Nobody. So gold and silver took a drop in value. But unlike 2011 and unlike 1981 when they got up to $50 and they shorted the shit out of the paper, changed the rules and screwed everyone, this time it's different. And I'm not just going to say this time it's different. I'm going to tell you why it's different. Because in 2011 and 1981, there was plenty of silver on the market, plenty to go around. It was plentiful. It was everywhere. That's a totally different world than today. Here we are 45 years later. And silver is not just money. Silver is not just used to develop some pictures for Kodak. Silver is used in every high-tech application, and it is not replaceable. It cannot be substituted from, film, electronics, phones, computers, supercomputers, to nuclear power plants, to artificial intelligence data centers, to energy production, to massive industrial batteries, to solar power, which consumes almost half a year's production of the whole world's silver. And there's no sign of it stopping. No. Not to mention military applications, and now another big one, the EV battery. The electric vehicle, the battery for that, they want to go to a silver battery. And it's just going to, in other words, there's no fucking silver. There's no silver. And unlike 2011 and 1981 gold, there was plenty of gold back then. It was all speculative madness that drove the price up. Today, it's different. Because in 1981, the dollar was king dollar. The dollar was the world reserve currency. Nobody argued that. Nobody was getting rid of their treasury bonds, their T-bills. Same with 2011. Yeah, it was the great financial crisis. Big deal, right? Oh, yeah. Everyone still believed in the dollar, loved the dollar, wanted the dollar, and needed the dollar. Nobody was selling treasuries and getting rid of it. 20, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. Back to 2017. When gold came out of its bear market and started moving up from $1,050 all the way up to its high on Friday morning, when it was $5,620 an ounce. Every bank wants it. Countries around the world are not buying treasuries, not the way they used to. Some still are. Many are just cutting back how much they're spending, and they're accepting and taking gold as a reserve asset. So just like silver, gold has a purpose again. It is to back a country's currency. Every country wants their own gold, so they don't have to rely on the United States dollar, which is being devalued by the banking cartels who are completely fucking all of us over. Literally. By destroying the value of the dollar, by keeping the banks liquid, by giving them all the cash they want to continue to fuck us up on Wall Street, and they needed to get out of their short positions. In other words, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, UBS, Citibank, Chase. How many banks were short silver? In other words, they sold silver they didn't have to drive the price down. And they've been doing it for years. But all of a sudden, well, if you sell silver you don't have to drive the price down, you have to either put silver on the exchange or buy silver, and they like to do it at the lower rate, so they net the delta. In other words, sell silver at its all-time high of 120 and then buy it back at $75. Well, that's 25 plus 20. Okay, yep. $45 an ounce they just made by shorting it from 120 to 75. And they get out of their shorts and they're like, okay, no more shorts. We're done. We fucked everyone one last time. Not that they won't try to do it again, and smaller banks and smaller investors trying it here and there. But this is a big one, was it not? It was a big one. Silver is much more valuable than just being a dollar, because it is not just money anymore. It is more than money. And that's what's going on with silver and gold, and also uranium, and also cobalt, and also lead and also zinc and also copper and also nickel, everything. They are screwing everyone they can, and they're printing all the money they need to protect themselves. It is an awful, heinous crime, and the Epstein files tell you exactly why they're fine doing it. Because they're parasites. These bankers, these international bankers, are mercantile parasites, and they'll go to any country with wealth, invest their money in it, find how to exploit the system, screw everyone, and they couldn't give a fuck if that country goes out of business, if that country goes bankrupt. They don't care that they bankrupted Germany. They don't care that they're bankrupting Europe, that they're bankrupting England, Canada, Australia, the United States of America. What do they care? As long as they can take what they can and run to the next country. You think China is going to let Israel do business with them and let Israeli banks in there and European banks in there? No. China wants to protect itself, just like Russia does. They're like, no Western banking cartels in our country. Go fuck yourselves. No, thank you. Anyways, that is how I would like to answer that question. We're still looking for Chelsea and husband out there, Mr. Uman, in case we've got them checking in. Robin, thank you for supporting the Prepared Mind channel. I know it's been a rough few days for me personally, and it's kept me away from the microphone and talking to you guys while the world is fucking falling apart right in front of us. Unbelievable how it's falling apart right in front of us. And the idiots are in charge. For example, Mr. Uman sending you a quickie there. In Chicago, the communist mayor that they have elected, Brandon Johnson, BJ, signs a, quote, ICE is on notice. He's signing a mayoral executive order, and he wants to prosecute immigrations and customs enforcement agents. Now, on its face, if you're a left-wing lunatic, that sounds fucking great. Yeah, the mayor is going to start arresting ICE agents. There isn't a legal venue that has jurisdiction to prosecute anything Mayor Johnson says when it comes to federal law enforcement. No court in Chicago or Illinois has that authority. Any attempt to do so is a violation of the Supremacy Clause for border control, because that's the federal government's domain. And as far as I'm concerned, any ICE officer arrested by a local police department for performing their duties under the law is a deprivation of rights under color of law by an inferior authority acting outside its scope of office and outside its authority of office. But hey, it's 2026. And now elites around the world and even in the United States of America can kidnap, traffic, buy, rape, torture, and murder children. So what's a little problem like lack of venue, lack of jurisdiction, lack of authority got to do with lawlessness in the world and in Chicago? We are being run by an idiocracy at every level. City, state, federal government. They're all taking turns lying to us, bullshitting us, keeping us fighting each other. Once again, divide and conquer. Diversity is our strength. No, it's not. Diversity means to divide. We need to be different. No, we need to be the same. No, we need diversity. No, we need to be Americans. We need to have American law. No. We need Sharia law. We need Zionist rules. No. That's killing us. It really is. That's where we're at in this world, folks. If you've got something to say, super chat button right up there is how you get on the board down here. Mr. Uman has a couple of things. Let's see what he wants and thinks we should be talking about. What's all over the place? We've got Northern Hillbilly checking in. And he says, gold and silver showed me we are truly in the Truman Show. Silver will not move to what it should because they won't allow it. Well, there comes a point, my friend, where you being accurate, you being correct, you being right fails. Now, the problem is our financial masters in the United States of America may absolutely 100% destroy what is known as price discovery, of precious metals, gold and silver in the United States of America by continuing to do what they do, printing all the currency they need, all the naked short selling they need to keep the price of this down. But the world market is not going to be the paper bullshit commodities exchange, COMEX price. You think Shanghai gives a fuck what Chicago or New York City says about the price of silver? They're not going to sell their silver back to America for $82 an ounce. No, no, no. They're selling it over there for anywhere internationally from, get this, $100 an ounce all the way up to $150 an ounce, depending on the country and the jurisdiction. And that does not mean it's a value-added tax, a VAT tax, an export or import duty, tariffs. No. That's the price they're willing to pay. That is the price for this. So if they're selling it in New York for $80 an ounce and you can buy it from New York, demand delivery, and then they transport that over to China where they're paying $120 an ounce, they just netted $40 an ounce. Who wouldn't do that? So what's happening to silver in the West? Because our price discovery mechanism, our market is fucking broken. It's lie. It's bullshit. Well, they don't want to deliver silver. They don't want to give it to China or India. They don't want to give it to Malaysia. They don't want to give it to Hong Kong. They don't want to give it to Japan. So they're going to have to stop selling it. So everyone's going to abandon the American market. And you and I are not going to be able to sell this for what it's worth because it's being controlled and owned by these lying piece of shit satanic bankers. There comes a point where everyone will just get out of it. Guess what? We'll discover and we'll use foreigners' price and valuation for selling and buying it, for trading it, for using it as currency. Who wants a paper fucking dollar? Who wants 1,000 paper dollars when you can have a real ounce of silver? Who wants 10,000 paper worthless fucking dollars when you can have 1 ounce of real gold? I see exactly what you're saying. The bankers don't want to allow it. But if everyone else says, you know what, we don't want your shit, then their system crashes. And that's what's happening right now. Silver is fleeing the West and it's going to where good money is. Bad money always chases away good money. Good money is always attracted to fair markets. This is what's happening. This is why the dollar is being talked about as crashing. Literally, this is where we're at in this fucking game. We're going to get price discovery. We're going to discover what the dollar is worth. We're going to discover what our government is worth. We're going to discover what our so-called greatest allies are worth. Yeah, they bombed the fuck out of the USS Liberty, a United States warship with sailors on it. They strafed it. They bombed it. They did it intentionally, trying to drag the United States of America into a war to fight on behalf of Israel, and that was back in the 60s. They have never been our friends. They've always thought of us as goyim, as their cattle, as their slaves, as their tools. Just like the Jeffrey Epstein files paperwork is now revealing. Just as I've known since 1995 when I read the fucking Talmud and thought, what the hell is this about? When the internet first came out, this was out there. It was out there for everyone to find if they wanted to. They're controlling our government. Who else said that? Remember this guy named Pat Buchanan? He was a Republican. He ran for office. He ran for the presidency through the 90s, through the 80s. He was a big part of American politics for 30 years. Guess who he said the enemy of America was? Guess who he said was controlling the American government? Pat Buchanan was saying Israel. Guess who was saying that Israel controls the American government? Benjamin Netanyahu. He's been saying that since the 80s, that Israel controls our country, and they brag about it openly on Israeli TV. They don't care. They are so arrogant, so confident, so evil. They'll tell everyone in their own country that they are better than us, that they dominate us, that they own us. While someone like Miriam Adelson and all the other Jewish Zionist bankers and billionaires are spending their money, just like they're going after Thomas Massie. Representative Republican Thomas Massie has been fighting these people. I'm actually surprised they haven't killed him yet. He's been fighting with a former Congresswoman, Marge Taylor Greene, Big Marge, as well as I think a Democrat named Ro Khanna, and also a couple other Congress people, just a few, just a fucking relative handful, have fought to get the Epstein documents out, and here we are. And now America's learning, and America is screaming mad if you're awake. These people are not just screwing America, though, folks. They're screwing over Canada, Australia, England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, all of the continent of Europe, including Ukraine. Oh, Ukraine. Allow me to digress and discuss the war in Ukraine. Instead of surrendering and allow Ukrainians to live in peace within their own country and to have heat during winter, instead of allowing that by surrendering, Zelensky will not quit. Get this, there's an 800-mile-long front line with Russia, the war front line. Russian forces are just kicking the shit out of them. They're exploiting the gaps. They're killing people at will, the army that's trying to fight against them. While in the cities, like Kiev and others, people are freezing to death. Freezing Ukrainians are trying to cope with a lack of power, a lack of heat, all while Zelensky is living like a king and serving the European Union, serving the CIA, serving Mossad, serving Israel, serving all the evil people at the World Economic Forum. Remember those people? They're the same Zionists that think they're superior to you, and they want to inject you with shit. They want to spray in the air all of their chemicals. They want to control the weather to the extent they can. They want you to eat bugs, own nothing, be locked down in 15-minute cities forever. And then, of course, they want to continue to rape children. Someone, please, prove that accusation wrong after looking at the Epstein documents. Prove that wrong. Oh, it's incredible, folks. It's incredible watching even right-wing media try and ignore the facts. Trying to ignore the facts. They can't defend it because it's now out in the open. They can ignore it, but look at all of the so-called right-wing influencers who are taking the money from Israel. Look at how Erica Kirk, the wife of Charlie Kirk, is gleefully celebrating in Zoom calls. These have been released. She's smiling and laughing just a few days after Charlie was assassinated because they're making so much money on Charlie Kirk merchandising. Merchandising, where the real money's made. They're making money merchandising and celebrating it. She squirts fake tears in her eyes, runs out on stage, and then dabs her eyes and acts like she's crying. Also, this is a question I've been asked by a very thoughtful woman I know. She says, John, where are the Kirk's children? I thought they had children. I thought she was pregnant again. Remember that? Oh, feel sorry for her. She's pregnant. Where's her baby bump? Where's her tummy? Is she pregnant? Where's their kids? Who are their kids? Do they even have kids? Was it all a fucking lie the whole time? I don't know. It's all a fucking show, folks. It's all the Truman Show. We're all being lied to. We're all being tricked. And our politicians, international, national, state, local, they're all fucking lying to us. All of them. All of them are lying to us and pretending to be our friends while they screw us over. Read the Epstein files. Read the documents. We want a list of clients and we want them arrested. Well, get this, Texas, the governor of Texas. Don't mess with Texas. Texas, we got cowboy hats in Congress. Texas, we're supposed to be all about freedom, right? God bless Texas. Oh, Texas, Texas, Texas. The governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, is just putting down, slamming the old left-wing organizations that fund the anti-ICE operations. But does Governor Hot Wheels, Greg Abbott, Does he think that you and I have forgotten? He and the Texas Republicans in the Capitol were allowing violent Muslim Brotherhood organizations to build Muslim super mosques and anti-white, anti-American super Muslim communities. Plus, Texas also sends money to Israel. So fuck off, Governor Abbott. Yes, and I know Florida has some cities, some Zionist-controlled cities that are funding Israel with millions and billions of dollars. And that needs to be stopped immediately as well. There is a political candidate running for governor in Florida. That governor's election is this fall. His name is James Fishback, and he is saying that's going to be put to an end. Our state money that we make working our asses off paying taxes in this fucking state should not be being sent to a foreign country. Period. Oh, it's incredible, folks. The government is screwing us over. The media is screwing us over. I mean, get this. Don Lemon, like he's Renfro with a maniacal fucking laugh, says he's going to get even more radical after this indictment against him for harassing free Christian Americans who are just trying to be in church. He says this, quote, "Just wait. People think I'm going to be locked up or whatever. I ain't even worried." End quote. I guess he's not worried because he likes dropping the soap in jail. That's a good game for Don Lemon. Don thinks we out here, that we're going to be nice to him. He wants to go into churches, American churches, terrorize children, threaten free Americans, demand that they give up their names and addresses and tell him everything he wants to know, right? Well, get this, Don. Big is going to be like, come to our church and see how we treat Antichrist faggots who are trying to intimidate us. I mean it, folks. Blacks, Hispanics, whites, even non-Republican people have had enough of this lawless bullshit. Illegals have stolen the social services of inner cities, all their funding. They're trashing the streets. They're raping people. Don is on the losing side, but he thinks he's cool. He thinks he's protected. And I'm going to laugh when all of the multicolored hair fruitcakes and transgenders and illegals find out that good-hearted people, regardless of race or financial status or socio-ethnic status, doesn't matter. When we've had enough lawlessness from these terrorist commie fucks who are doing the bidding of the Epstein allies, there's going to be hell to pay. That is SHTF. It's going to be in every city, every state, probably around the world. Am I wrong? What do you guys think? Mr. Uman, let's get up some comments from the crowd and see what you guys want to talk about. Klaus Schwab Hubris says America is on the verge of a civil war and the Trump regime is picking fights around the planet. Very interesting comment, sir. Thank you. Let's get into this. What is the difference between a civil war and what I call partisan war? Well, there is a series of movies that came out. They were horror movies, but hell, they're real now, called The Purge. It has to do with partisans on the street fighting each other. Republican versus Democrat. Christian versus Muslim. Left versus right. American versus American. That is exactly what they want, is partisan war. Civil war is different. Civil war is competing factions fighting to control to see who gets to run and own the government. The federal government in Washington, D.C. is not worried about a bunch of fucking hillbillies in Arkansas or a bunch of Texans gone mad or a bunch of crazy-ass gator-riding Floridians doing anything in D.C. I don't think we're on the verge of a civil war unless and until there is enough political power and enough, how do we say this? Enough intellectual and muscular capital for the military to stand up and go, we swore an oath to the Constitution. This thing. We swore an oath to defend and protect it and uphold it. And every last one of you cocksuckers in Washington, D.C., and there's a lot of them, are violating your oaths, and you are traitors to this country, and we are going to set order right in this country. If the military stands up, we will have a civil war. Because every stinking right-wing, you bet right-wing, God-fearing, God-loving, Constitution-loving Republican veteran, sportsman, and American will be there to support those arrests, to get these fucking people out of our government and out of power and start arresting and executing traitors and these fucking Satanists. Oh, by the way, right now, Putin is sitting back going, I told you they were Satanists. I told you that America and the West, meaning Europe, is being run by a bunch of pedophile Satanists. He's just sitting back in Russia, having his tea like Dr. Zhivago, watching what's going on. He doesn't have to lift a finger. Klaus Schwab hubris, we are on the verge of civil war, but only if the military takes action. Otherwise, we're on the verge of total SHTF Mad Max fucking meltdown between these left-wing scumbags, these Muslim scumbags, these LGBTQ scumbag murderers. Every last one of these gangs that hate America, they're going to be fighting everyone who loves America, loves law and order, loves the Constitution, loves our history and traditions and culture. That's why I call it partisan war. Now, Trump picking fights around the planet, there's some interesting things going on there. Trump so far has refused to attack Iran on behalf of Israel, who somehow has Trump by the short hairs, his nutsack. I mean, Netanyahu's bragging he controls the government and controls the president. Can Trump resist him? Is Trump being blackmailed? Is Trump being strong-armed and extorted? Or both? I don't know. I know I don't like what's going on. I don't like that Pam Bondi has lied to the American people. Bimbo Pam Bondi Blondie is a giant pile of shit. She's lied to the American people and done nothing to protect the children, to get justice for the children who were raped, murdered, and eaten, literally eaten, cannibalism, eaten by these Zionist Satanists. True story. She's done nothing and she knew about it. Kash Patel lied to Congress, lied to you and me, saying, I've gone through all the Epstein documents and there's no evidence that Epstein trafficked anyone. Are you fucking kidding me? They brag about it openly. They talk about torturing. They talk about murdering. They talk about cannibalism. They talk about adrenochrome, that is drinking the blood of terrorized children, because they think it makes them younger. These are some sick fucking people. Where's the arrest, Pam? Dan Bongino is still like, oh, it's February 2nd, 2026, and Trump is still in the president. Dan, you're a fucking liar. They all know about all these crimes. They've had all this paperwork. Folks, they still have lots of pictures, other documents. They've seen the unredacted files and the movies, the literal video movies these people take. Now, why did they do that? Why did they do that? Why did they write emails admitting what they're doing? Why did they take pictures showing what they're doing? Why do they have videos showing what they're doing to children? To control each other, to protect each other from one another. Well, you got a video of me and I got a video of you. So you better not release your video of me or I'll release my video of you and take you down. The Republican Party is threatening the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is protecting the Republican Party. They're all pretending to attack each other and protect each other and protect themselves while fucking lying to us and screwing us over, stealing us our fucking money, and destroying the whole fucking country. I think I just nailed it. That's what's going on. Good God. Literally, folks, unfucking believable. Anything from Chelsea? Oh, we got doing stuff with Nikki. She says Palm Beach County has over $1 billion in Israeli bonds. Let that sink in. So the country of Israel sells Israeli government bonds. Do they even pay a fucking percentage back? Do they even give us usury back? Or do they just usury us? That is to say, lend us money and then screw us out of it with exorbitantly high interest rates, like 30% for a fucking credit card. Okay, so Israeli bonds, what does Israel make? They beg and steal money from America every single day, every single year. They're going to pay us back with their own fucking money, in other words. Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, Palm Beach County takes our tax money and buys bonds from Israel to give more money to Israel, and they're going to pay those bonds back with money that our government gives Israel to pay us back to give us for our... In other words, they're making money coming and going both ways. And we think we're getting a good fucking deal? Well, we're supporting the Judeo-Christian values. Really, Judeo-Christian values is killing and genociding fucking people off the fucking planet and destroying churches, ancient churches, and killing and attacking people in Lebanon and Syria and trying to start fucking wars with Iran and attacking our warships and screwing us over and telling us in the Epstein documents that we're all a bunch of idiotic cattle, goyim, that they can take advantage of and destroy all they want. And the names out there, people, are fucking ridiculous. Who's involved in this? Everyone in the top echelons. It's a big club. And we ain't in it. But they think they are, and they think they're untouchable. Now, someone asked me, John, what are you going to do about it? I can't do a fucking thing about it. I'm just one man. I'm down here in Florida, and around me, in my area, I don't know where any of these rich fucks live. Nobody said, hey, psst, Congressman Fuckwad is over there, or billionaire asshat is over there and owns that house and that property and that estate. If that was the case, and everyone knows where they're at, none of those people are safe anywhere. It doesn't matter if they own one house and one estate, one mansion with 100 acres around it and fences, electric fences, and fucking super top secret security. Doesn't matter, because they could have 5 houses. They could be anywhere. But people know. I just happen to not know where any of them live. So I can't warn them or advise them that I know it's them and that they are near me and that I may do something at some point in the future, because I don't know where any of them are. But I bet a lot of you and the rest of America knows exactly where these fucking people are. But every time an Israeli gets in trouble, what do? They fly back to Israel with their dual citizenship, and they avoid trouble for being what? Well, there was an Israeli kid, that's right, a Zionist Jewish kid, tried running over a fucking cop and killing him in Florida. He was let go and he was flown back to Israel. A fucking child molesting pedophile piece of shit flew from Israel all the way to Vegas to try and have sex with children, got caught, was released by an Israeli Zionist judge serving in an American court, was allowed to go back to Israel, is not facing charges. Where's the American government? Where's the Trump administration? Where's Pam Bondi? Where's Kash Patel? Where's the fucking outrage in Washington? Oh, there isn't. Because they're all too busy going, you don't say nothing about me and I won't say nothing about you, and we'll protect those people over there, and fuck America, and fuck all the white people, and fuck all the black people, fuck all the Hispanics, fuck everyone. And by the way, we're going to bring in lots of Indians and lots of Muslims to fuck us over even more. Where do they think they're all going when this is all said and done? Yankee Watchdog, this is fucking choice. I hit the Israeli lottery last year. It's $1 a year for 1,000,000 years. That sounds just about fucking right. Now, let me ask you this question. And it doesn't matter whether you're a heliocentrist or a geocentrist. If you know what those terms are, you'll understand. It doesn't matter where you think Mars is. Whether it's that way 10,000 miles or whether it's that way 10,000 miles, it doesn't matter. Do these people all think they're going to get on a fucking big spaceship and fly to wherever Mars is and escape justice, prosecution, and God? Ultimately, they think they're going to leave? Is that where they're going to go? They're going to get away with all of this? They're going to take all the gold with them. They're going to take all the silver with them. They're going to leave us here on Earth all fucked up. Do they think they're going to get away with this? Or are they going to pull absolute total scorched earth, which the Israelis have threatened the world with? Yeah, the Samson doctrine, the Samson plan, which is launch all their nuclear weapons at everyone, blow everyone the fuck up, and kill everyone. They don't care. Because they're not going to have another Holocaust happen to them. No, they'll never have another Holocaust. Never again. Never, ever, ever. While they Holocaust the fuck out of the white race. And they say they want to kill the entire white race. And if you're not white, if you're black or Hispanic or any other race, you think you're going to be fucking spared? They just want to get rid of us first because we're the most organized cultures on the planet. That's right. The Goyim, white, black, and brown America, they want to kill the white people first. Why do you think that is? Because we're the majority. If they get rid of us as the majority, that means the imported scum becomes the majority. And you, if you're black or Hispanic, aren't going to fucking matter because of all the other races that are here that hate America, aren't Christian, and want to kill you. Same with Europe, same with England, same with Australia. That's their plan. It's spelled out. It's in the fucking protocols of the learned elders of Sion. It's in their fucking Epstein documents. It's in the fucking Talmud. It is out there, and it's out in the open now. I'm not an anti-Semite. Guess what? Israelis are not Semites. They're Khazars who migrated into Europe, and after World War II, migrated down to what is now called Israel, but which actually was Palestine. They immigrated there and started killing everyone like in 1948. And it's going on to this day. I was asked, this is a great one. Well, John, how did this very small group, this very small population of people get so much money that they could take over the banking cartel? Are you ready for this one? I don't know if Uman knows this one. I'm sure he does. Waterloo. When Emperor Napoleon got his ass kicked at Waterloo, a banker, a wealthy man in England named Rothschild, had a courier there get a message to him a day before the rest of the world knew. And he went to the British stock market and he bet every penny he had and borrowed every shilling, every pound sterling, every sovereign he could get his hands on. Sovereign's a gold coin. And he invested it in pro or anti-France. And he just completely made untold sums of money because he knew before everyone else that Napoleon got his ass kicked, and he put himself in a position to benefit financially from that trade. Insider trading? Well, I don't know. At that time, they didn't have phones, satellites, nothing. Fastest thing alive was the carrier pigeon. But he got word first, enriched himself, and they have put themselves in position to start controlling banks ever since then. We got 1913, which was many years after the Napoleon episode, where they put themselves in control of the United States banking system. And the rest is history. As has been noted here, that the value of silver and gold, they have absolutely destroyed. Woo! As best they can, but now people are realizing gold and silver have value, and paper is just paper. Mr. Uman, who's up next on the Prepared Mind channel? We're at 90 minutes in, and Alan Meyer Jensen, a European, he says, justice is blindfolded. The Statue of Liberty also have a chain on the FOD because it's all a scam. Justice is no longer blindfolded. In America, justice is supposed to be blind, to apply the law, the application of law, the execution of law blindly, meaning not to favor any country, any rich person, any corporation, nobody. Justice now looks around and goes, who's our buddy? Who's on our side? Who do we want to win? We're going to tilt the scales of justice in favor. And who is in favor? Who is the favored people? The Zionist Israelis, of course. The Zionist bankers. Of course, the Zionist leaders of countries, the Zionist corporations, the Zionist financiers, they have put themselves in positions of power, and they are naked shorting the markets. They are screwing Europeans, screwing Americans, screwing Australians, screwing everybody. Oh, I've got an interesting story, speaking of them getting screwed. Yeah. The Statue of Liberty, not anymore, folks. The statue's a joke. The idea, the concept of liberty, Lady Liberty, no. Justice, she is no longer blinded. She is completely prejudiced. In Canada, folks, by the way, Canada, Alberta, Canada, the province, or to Americans, we would call it a state. To Canadians, they call it a province. Province of Alberta is at the point of saying, you know what, fuck you, to Quebec, the capital. They say, all we're doing is paying taxes. Our money is getting funneled from Alberta to Quebec to fund their socialist, communist takeover and destruction of their own country. Alberta's tired of giving their money and wealth to the capital to screw them over. Does that sound familiar to you over there, Alan Meyer? Does that sound normal to you, Mr. Hunter, Mr. Connolly? That sound right to you down there in Australia? Oh, you know who you are. I'm going to try not to use those names because Australia right now, woo! You say anything about a Muslim, you're arrested. You say anything about an Israeli, you're arrested. No matter what, you're arrested if you criticize the government. Hell, all you have to do in England or Australia or Canada is make someone feel uncomfortable. Someone feels scared, uncomfortable, threatened, upset. You hurt my feelings. You're arrested. You know what? This is America, and I'm not going to quit offending the fuck out of people, especially those who have deserved it. They fucking earned it. Fuck you people. You don't have a right to not be offended, and you don't have a right to steal from all of us. You don't have a right to kill us or steal and rape and kill children. Fuck all of you people. We need justice in this country, folks. This show, I've got two choices. I can give you the sanitized bullshit. Everyone get prepared. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. Get prepared because something bad might happen, like a comet or an earthquake. Or I can tell you, these are the people doing it. These are the fucking people doing it. And this is what they're doing. And this is how they're doing it. And these are the means and methods they're doing it. And I'm going to name them by name and by country and by religion. And I'm going to tell you all about it. And you can take that to the bank or you can fucking ignore it. You see, that's just it. I have an opinion. You have an opinion. We have a choice. They want to take away your choice like they did in England and Australia and Canada. They want to take away your choice, so you have to take their word for it. Once you control information, you control people's thought processes. You take away their options, they go, well, I've got option A or B, government or government A or government B, and that's where America's at. Well, I have a choice between Republicans and Democrats. They're both on the same fucking team, and they are both playing for Israel. And I will say that. Those are my choices. Give you the sanitized crap, and you're prepared. Or tell you the truth, and you're prepared. I would rather tell you the truth. Shout it from the fucking rooftops. Or shout it from the fucking bunker under the ground. It don't matter. We got Christina Thompson on the line. Says Trump is heavily subsidized by the Rothschilds. Hillary is a Rothschild, and that's why she won't be going to jail. I agree with you. The entire banking cartel, including the Rothschilds, are doing what? And I've talked about this in the past, and we need to understand this. All wars are a rich man's trick. Who are the rich man? The bankers, the financiers, Wall Street, the government. They're all the rich man. They have all the money, all the power, all the control. These foreigners, they finance Republicans. They finance the Democrats. No matter who is elected, they win. For a long time, I kept looking for the white hats with billions and billions of dollars. Turns out, I can't find them. I cannot find the names of these super powerful rich people that are fighting the super powerful evil people. I'm not finding them. I have been looking for decades, going, there's a reason that the evil hasn't taken over all the way. Not yet. There's got to be someone fighting back on our side, the side of the people of Canada, the people of Australia, the people of Europe, for fuck's sake, as well as the people of America and Mexico and South America. There's got to be someone fighting on our side to stop all of these evil bastards. Turns out, you know what? It is evil fighting evil. I want brand X of evil. No, I want brand Y of evil. Turns out they're playing on the same fucking team. They're just now fighting each other to see which family, which bank, which royals, which aristocrats, which corporations get to control the whole fucking mess. That's it. They're all fighting each other. Now, interestingly, at least at the time being, Elon Musk appears to be trying to protect and cover his own ass. Right? He's controlling Twitter, and that's it. And he's not even controlling Twitter. The Israelis are now controlling Twitter. They fucking own TikTok, as well as the media, the entertainment, the print media, internet media, big tech. Hillary's a Rothschild. She won't be going to jail. She already said, if you arrest me, if they want to make her a martyr, in other words, she'll bring down half of fucking Washington, if not more. In other words, yeah, they all have videos. They all have pictures. They all have letters. They all have everything admitting what the other side is doing. So it's evil fighting evil, trying to hide their evil from the rest of us while they battle each other for control and total world domination. Or am I wrong? Nikki says, amen, John. It's a dog and pony show. I always said, remember back in the Cali days, different turds, same toilet bowl. That's interesting. Okay, that's a nice way to put it. It is a dog and pony show. It is a pea and shell game. And I don't mean the 3 seashells. I mean, right? Under what shell, under what cup, the cup and ball game, is the ball hiding? Every time we turn around, it's not where we think it is. We don't know who's in charge. It's a dog and pony show. This person's lying and that party's lying, and then it switches. And now the good guys are the bad guys and the bad guys are the good guys. And we're looking around going, well, I thought our party was good. Well, they thought their party was good. Turns out they're all bad. Right? It's not the American eagle. It's a fucking vulture. It's a vulture. It is carrion. It eats dead things. Starting to sound familiar? The American bird is not a falcon. It's not a phoenix. It's not the bald eagle. It's a fucking turkey vulture. And it eats off of the carcasses of dead things. You got the left wing, the Democrats. You got the right wing, the Republicans. And they're both wings off the same filthy, corpse-eating bird. And that's what they're doing. They're picking us to the bone. Blue Cord Devil, thank you, sir, very much. Good seeing you here today. I know it's a special Monday night edition of the Zoo. And yes, Blue, I accept Hillary's offer. Arrest her and bring down Washington with her. Do it. I wonder how many people in Washington, D.C., in bureaucracies or elected officials, want the whole system drugged down and redone. Everything in the Declaration of Independence. That's right. This little teeny book has the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Everything King George did to America that caused us to fight the revolution in 1776, every last fucking thing, every last thing, every last tyrannical move, every last shitheel move, and more we've discovered since the Epstein documents, the ones that have been released, they are doing. They're stealing from us. They're using mercenary forces to murder us. They're robbing us. The judges are fucking lying. Everything, folks, that was done and being done to us in 1776 is being done and more. Meaning, yeah, they're kidnapping children by the hundreds of thousands. They're sending them around the world to be sex toys and sacrifices for these evil, satanic fuckers. And it's not a joke anymore. It's not laughable. It isn't. It's not a sham. It's true. These people are absolutely beyond fucking evil. They're beyond tyrants. They're beyond despots. So how do we fix it? How are we, the little people, going to rise up? Rise up against Washington, D.C., that has helicopters, tanks, jets, aircraft carriers, missiles, drones, artificial intelligence, nuclear fucking weapons. How are we supposed to fight them? Christina Thompson said, Musk's a little worse, though. You scratch his family, it leads back to Miss Catherine and Mr. Nietzsche, essay apostolics and Nazi money. There's a lot of that out there, is there not? South African apostolics. Let me see if I can say the word that we all know here. Apartheid. Apartheidists. A lot of money left Europe at World War II. A lot of Nazi money and Nazis left Europe after World War II. They went to South America. They went to Argentina. Argent meaning silver, by the way. Argentina. They went to South Africa. They also went to Antarctica. Long story. Yeah. The Musks are not innocent. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not innocent. Nobody's fucking innocent, 100% pure, folks. Nobody. Not me, not you. Nobody is innocent. We're all less than perfect. That said, let me ask you a couple questions. Hitler, through his entire, shall we say, the entire existence of his regime was asking for peace. Does everyone know that? He wanted the fighting to stop. True story. Do you know that Rudolf Hess, who was the number 2 man in Germany, stole a Messerschmitt, a German fighter plane, and flew it all the way to England to try and land and cut a deal with the King of England? They wanted peace with England. They wanted the war to stop. Did you know that all the books that were burned in Germany were, of course, porn and trash? I've talked about that several times. Yeah. He was trying to save Germany and German culture from being destroyed through absolute satanic scum, filth, and destruction. What else did Germany do? Right? They did a lot of things that is being reported wrong. There weren't 6 million Jews killed in concentration camps. It's just an absolute lie. What is the real number? I don't know, but let me tell you this. You see pictures or maybe movies of people being thrown into mass graves. Do you know why so many people starved to death in concentration camps? It wasn't because Hitler was starving them. You see, if Hitler was putting people in concentration camps through the 30s, the 1930s, all the way to 1944, did it take 8 years to starve all the people? Did it take 4 years to starve the people? Did it take 1 year to starve the people? No. We, me, you, we could all be starved to death in a month. Totally be emaciated, lose your weight, lose your muscle, lose everything by being starved to death. They were starved to death because the Allies on one side and the Russians on the other side, Germany in the middle, they were fighting and beating the Germans back. They were bombing German factories that not only made bombs, but made food. Right? Took agricultural products and made them into, processed foods, canned foods. Right? Guess what? If you're defeating the German army, and they can't even feed their army, how are they supposed to feed food to all their prison camps? The last few months of the war, the last year especially, they cut off the food to the concentration camps by bombing the living shit out of Germany. In an effort to defeat Germany, the Americans and British on one side and the Russians on the other, through their actions, caused the people in concentration camps to die of starvation, malnutrition, disease, dysentery. It's horrifying. It's terrible. It's fucked up. It's a fact. Germany is not going to feed prisoners if they can't even feed their own soldiers. If the railroads are being blown up by the Russians on one side and the Americans and Brits on the other, how the fuck is Germany supposed to ship food, industrial quantities of food, to the prison camps? They can't. I'm not excusing what was done. I'm explaining why and how people were fucking starved to death. Now, let me tell you this. When the Russians made it to Germany, what do you think they did to the German people? They murdered the ever-loving fuck out of them. What do you think they did to the women of Germany? They raped the ever-loving shit out of all of them and murdered them. They took the women, the girls, as fucking prisoners and raped the shit out of them. You think the Soviets, the communists, are good guys? Well, it's funny. Let's see. Before 1939, 1938, and after 1945, guess what? The Soviets, the communists, were bad guys. How did they become good for 4, 5, 6, 7 years? History is full of misnomers, lies, tricks, and crap to get you to believe the propaganda they want you to believe, so you'll act and behave accordingly today. It is a fucking awful fact and truth about war. It's hell. Everyone fucking dies, not just the military. The people suffer. The people die. It's fucking horrifying. War is hell. Pure Blood for Life says the Allies bombed every port, road, railhead, bridge, and mule trail to where everybody in Germany was starving, including the German people. Unless you had a farm, a dairy, an orchard, cattle, unless you had that, you were fucking dead. As good as dead in Germany. Who do you think survived? People who stored food and supplies and did everything they could to make sure they had food and food first. You know, German preppers. Same with the French. Same with the Austrians. Same with everybody in Europe. Everyone was fucking hungry and pissed off and destroyed. Because every road, port, railway, bridge, mule trail, dirt road, everything was fucking destroyed. Every car, every automobile was blown up that they could. It was absolutely fucking destroyed. You know what's amazing? After all of that, after all the death and destruction of Germany and all of Europe, all the way as far west as Portugal and Spain and France, and as far south as North Africa, and as far east as, well, Russia, Ukraine, everything was destroyed that they could. And of all countries, the one, okay, man, the one country that grew and has been the industrial muscle of all of Europe has been Germany again, even after World War II. ThyssenKrupp, IG Farben, all of the massive industrialist corporations of Germany, their factories were used to rebuild Europe. And they used doing German labor. So even after World War II and all that happened, Europe owes Germany a fucking, well, shall we say Western democratic Europe owes Germany a debt of gratitude for helping get them back up and going. Same with the fucking Italians. Italian industry is amazing. The French, right? They got their shit going again. But yeah, it's crazy. War is fucking hell. But who benefited? Ask yourself that. Who benefited? Who got the gold? Who got the gold of Europe after World War II? The aristocratic families and the fucking bankers. They're the ones that end up with all the wealth, because back then gold was the money. Gold was the money. All right. We're almost at 2 hours. I don't know how we made it. My busted up ribs are repaired enough that I could speak. So Uman says the rest of Europe is just a bunch of retards that don't know how to do anything other than hospitality and vacation, wine, and take a shit. Oh, fuck. Oliver, you're making friends, man. That is fucking fucked up. That would be, for anyone not American, that's American humor. Wow. Sometimes you got to laugh or you're going to start to cry. Literally. Okay. Heidi sent a $50 Cash App. donation, super chat. Thank you, Heidi. Thank you very much for that. I don't know if Heidi has said anything today, Mr. Uman. Just wanted to just popped into the Prepared Mind email system for the show. Oh my goodness. Good golly. Wow. What a world. Northern Pike with a $5 superset says, John, do you have a use for a Stanley 3 by 24 inch? That'd be 3-inch by 24-inch wood plane for sale. Northern Pike. Did you buy on the crash silver? LOL. Okay, we got a couple things. Number one, a floor planer, aka floor planer, or maybe a planer is different than a belt sander. I know how to use both. I don't have a use for them. I'm too fucking old, and I live in my fucking bunker, and that's all I can afford and take care of right now. But I really appreciate you asking me if I need a floor planer. But then you ask, did you buy silver when it crashed? The answer is no. I don't have any money to pay for silver or gold or any other investment currently. I wish I did, but there's a fear factor here. The price dropped from $120 an ounce to $75 an ounce, and it's up around 80 right now. It's just sitting there while they continue to dump their shorts on a market while everyone's trying to buy paper to drive the price up again. But the fact of the matter is there's a shortage of silver. And so many people are buying, and good for them. I hope they get their fucking silver. They're buying from SD Bullion. They're buying from Atmex. They're buying from Scottsdale Mint. They're buying from First Majestic or First Mint. They're buying from JM Bullion. They're buying from Money Metals. They're buying from Gold Silver Money, which is Mike Maloney's company. And prayers for Mike Maloney. Apparently he's dealing with some health issues, and he has told people for decades, buy precious metals. And they released a picture of him today standing in front of a Costco Sam's Club size rack, and it's just full of monster boxes of silver, I presume. In any event, the silver is disappearing. The silver is disappearing, and the silver brokers and gold brokers, right, these metal companies, they're illiquid. If they're going to pay you for your metal, in fact, some of them, if they will even buy it back, have a limit how many ounces they will buy back. And there's only so many ounces. Well, they want a minimum order to sell you some, but they can't guarantee you're going to get it. Because let's just use, and I don't know how messed up and fucked up SD Bullion is, but they released a video today. But SD Bullion has to buy from a wholesaler, and the wholesaler has to buy from a refinery or a mint. And the mints and the refineries, they don't have the metal. And they don't have the liquidity either. So many of these places have shut down their websites because they can't buy or sell anything because they don't have the money or it's not available. Right now, if you remember Ross Perot, there's a great sucking sound. And it's the sound of silver and gold leaving the United States. Now, JP Morgan has about 750 million ounces of silver. If silver was worthless, if silver had no purpose, if silver could drop back down to $20 an ounce, why the fuck would JP Morgan Bank have the largest single known hoard of silver on the planet, certainly in the United States of America? Because they know corporations, defense contractors, the medical industry, and the United States government are fighting over what industrial quantities of silver are left. And at some point, they're going to tell regular people like you and me, go fuck yourselves. Or they'll say, all right, silver costs $200 an ounce, but we'll sell it to you for $300. Or, hey, the paper market says it's worth $100, but we're not selling it until you pay us $400 an ounce. In fact, the United States government over the weekend, they have a new rule. They are going to start buying and putting into a strategic critical mineral reserve, uranium, silver, and whatever else they need to protect themselves. Oh, yeah. They're going to protect themselves and get the metals they need, the cobalt, the silver, the antimony, the gallium, the palladium, the platinum, whatever they need for their government interests. They're first in line. The military wants the silver. Guess who doesn't get it? Everyone else. If industry wants to pay $400 an ounce, you're not going to get it for the paper price of $82 an ounce. If you don't pay us $400 an ounce, then your factory costing you tens of millions of dollars a day to run gets shut down. So, well, I think we fall right back on the golden rule, Mr. Uman. He who has the gold makes the rules. And likewise, he who has the silver makes the rules, gets to determine the cost, the value, and who gets it. What a fucking world. Are you getting it yet? We are nothing to the government. The government is only concerned with United States continuity government. Same with the states. Same with your local city. They only care about themselves. Fuck you. It's their power, their wealth, and theirs. And you get what's left over. We are slaves. Oh, I guess we are goyim. We're cattle to them. Because that's how they're cheating us or treating us. You bet. That is how they're treating us. Grumpy Guy says Trump needs to go to Fort Knox with cameras and let's see the gold. The last time this done was over 50 years ago, and that was a dog and pony show. There hasn't been a proper audit in over 70 years. We need to see the gold. Now, here's the deal. They could build and stack up a wall, Grumpy Guy, from one side of every vault to the other, from the floor to the ceiling, and say it's packed 150 feet deep, 1,000 feet deep, just full of gold bars. And how would we ever know? They would show us a picture. They would say, that's vault number 1. Now let's go to vault number 2. And they'll tell us they're going to vault number 2. How do we know? How do we know? We don't. And how do we know those gold bars, which are, of course, supposed to be coin melt, meaning 90%, not good delivery bars? How do we know that the gold is really gold and not just gold-plated bars or, hell, gold-painted bars for that matter? It could be lead. It could be steel. It could be, who knows, some junk fucking metal, spray-painted gold. Right? A proper audit is to count all the bars, to assay them. That is to determine that the purity level. So you have an understandable dollar amount or value, as well as are they solid gold? They have to drill, literally drill every few bars to make sure they're not base metal junk. Uman says, why go to the trouble? They could just AI it at this point. Yeah, why even go to the vault? Why not do an artificial intelligence green screen fucking production of Trump walking in and looking at the gold and showing us row after row after row after row after row, thousands of pallets of gold stacked from floor to ceiling that we can actually see. How do we know it's not artificial intelligence created? You know, CGI, movie shit. We would never know at this point. Independent auditors. Hey, JP Morgan, your auditors, we're going to give you another couple $1 million to send a couple guys down here to confirm that it's all real. It's real. How can we really know? That comes down to trust. How can we trust that China's gold is all there? How can we trust Russia, Europe, Switzerland, every central bank, the European Central Bank, the Federal Reserve Bank? How can we trust the COMEX and their reason? How can we trust that what they're saying is there is there? It's only there if they say it's there, and then you ask for delivery and you get it and you check it yourself. I can only do that with the couple of silver ounces I have. I can't go check Fort Knox or Denver or West Point, right? They could show us it and put on a good show, but once again, it's the Nikki Dog and Pony show. It's the Uman AI masterpiece show. Fucking Hollywood, they blow up entire fucking planets. right? It's ridiculous. They lie to us and tell us Jeffrey Epstein died in jail. He killed himself. Of course, for nothing, for a hoax. Because he didn't traffic anyone, according to the FBI. It's that kind of a world, folks. You can't trust anyone. You can't verify shit. But we now have lots of documentation saying the most evil people on the fucking planet have admitted it, told us who they are, and they're guilty, and nothing's being done. We are living currently in hell. They just haven't turned hell loose on us yet. I pray to God, folks, every day, save us from this shit. Here we are. You, me, all of us. 8 billion people on the planet, and the people at the World Economic Forum want to kill 90% of us right out the gate so they can more easily control who is left. Do you believe them? Do you take them at their word? Well, they're telling us exactly who they are. You better believe them. Folks, chance favors the prepared mind. Ooh, man, have we got any more super duper chats and people that have something to say? It's 2 hours. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm glad you are all here. Over 300 people live on a stinking Monday night. The evil has exposed itself. The evil is so arrogant, they don't think they can be stopped and arrested. The arrogant leaders, the arrogant evil has told us, that's all you get. We don't care. We're not doing shit with it. While they steal your money, and they steal your silver, and they steal your gold, and they get ready to fight World War III or whatever fucking battles they want to fight to determine which evil group gets to rule the whole planet. You and I, we get to fucking survive it. Are you prepared for what they might do next? And it could be anything. Do you have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense? Do you have a plan to deal not with the world, but just the 10-mile radius around you? Do you have a plan to deal with that? I sure hope you do. God save us all. Semper Fi.